Christmas and our traditions are under attack as never before. This year we've seen in the newspapers stories such as Labour councils banning Father Christmas from shopping precincts, Christmas lights being de-Christianised, Christmas festivals up and down the country being called Winter Festival or some such wholly non-Christian tag. Perhaps most of all, this year for the first year, we've had 2/3 of all workplaces have decided not to hold any sort of Christmas celebration, no decorations, no parties, for fear of being sued by Muslims or other ethnic minorities for hurting their feelings because they'd be left out. So that's literally 2/3 of all the workplaces in Britain. Christmas is gone, just like that, because of either an ill thought out or a cunningly thought out piece of legislation courtesy of New Labour. This is an unholy alliance between the social Marxism of the left, ranging from people like Galloway and Respect, through to and including Tony Blair and Cherie Blair and all the rest of the parasites. It's an alliance between them and the Islamists. The latter, to some extent, are an excuse, but they're also constantly pushing themselves to cut back on our traditions and make theirs ever more important, ever more centre stage in our national life. And this Christmas, I think it's seen it worse than ever before. As a result, it's been clear that for us in the British National Party to make a point of celebrating Christmas and pointing out how the attacks on it aren't something happened by accident, they're a quite deliberate plan by the liberal socialist left and by elements of the Muslim community. We're pointing these things out, and this in itself, even just celebrating Christmas, is becoming literally a revolutionary act. This is why, quite deliberately, during the last day of the court hearings before Christmas, with myself and Mark Collett, we had all our people there singing Christmas carols. At one point, incidentally, when they were singing with some backing music off a portable CD player, the police threatened to arrest all of them because they didn't have a licence to sing. It's another little example of the creeping totalitarianism which is poisoning every aspect of our national life, under the Labour Party with the Lib Dems and the Tories doing absolutely nothing to stop it. Something which is new to us this year is you'll see another video clip on this website of me recounting the traditional Christmas story, the nativity story of Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus in Bethlehem. You don't have to be a card-carrying Christian to appreciate this or even to understand why we're doing it. This story and stories like it and related to it are an absolutely fundamental part of our traditional British identity, whether it's English or Scots or Irish or Welsh. It's in fact a pan-European identity. We're fundamentally a Christian society based on Christian values, and you don't have to subscribe to the religion to benefit from and understand and value those values and to realise that they make overall a better society than most of the others in the whole of the rest of the world, and certainly those societies based by some of the other religions which are held up as being equivalent to Christianity. I don't think that Islam can be regarded as equivalent to Christianity. I'll give you one biblical example. The Christian injunction as to how to treat your neighbour is to love thy neighbour as yourself. And if he's not of the same kind as you, then the story of the Good Samaritan is there to point out that actually that doesn't and shouldn't make any difference. Love thy neighbour as thyself. Contrast that with the Muslim injunction as to how to deal with your neighbours. Fight those of the unbelievers who live near to you and show them how harsh you can be. You think about those two injunctions from those two religions and realise that Christianity isn't just equivalent to Islam, it is way, way superior, and it's the fundamental source of all the freedoms and liberties that we hold so dear today, but which only the British National Party seems to be fighting to protect. So on that other video clip, you'll see the Christmas story, and I'd like you, believer or non-believer, to show it to children, nephews, nieces, grandchildren, granddaughters, whatever. Show it to children in your own family, or even better, study it and refresh your memory, because you won't have seen it on television, certainly not the BBC for a long, long time. Study it, refresh it in your own memory, and then tell that story yourself to the children in your life and your family, because nobody else will do it. It won't be talked about by the establishment politicians. It won't be there on the BBC. It's not even there in most of the Church of England because they're more interested in Africans with bongo drums. Nobody will keep alive these traditions unless we do, unless you do. These traditions are of deep, deep value to our country, our people, our nation, our race. Don't let them die. Use these traditions as a weapon to fight back against the Islamic trend, against this socialist, atheistic, Marxist. Every tradition is valid except the traditions of the native peoples of this country. Fight back against those things by using our own traditions, and have a very Merry Christmas and a happy, safe and prosperous New Year.